Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Mongwe Doris and I'm going to be talking to you about two items that you will need in order to get rid of your eczema. This may be your last bus stop to get rid of eczema. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Eczema, otherwise known as atopic dermatitis, it's what we are going to be talking about now. You're going to be learning about many things that you should do in order for your eczema not to get worse. You are going to be learning about the treatment for your eczema. You're going to be learning about the additional steps that you need to take to ensure that your eczema become history. Yes, that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. There are different types of eczemas, otherwise known as dermatitis. You have irritant contact dermatitis, allergic contact dermatitis, photocontact dermatitis, nummular dermatitis, seborrheic dermatitis, perioral dermatitis, and atopic dermatitis, otherwise known as eczema. It's important for you to know these names. So when you go and meet the doctor and they give you a prescription and you see here that, oh, your child is suffering from atopic dermatitis, and you start to ask, what is it? And you don't even know they are talking about eczema. That's why I'm giving you all of these terms so you can be able to understand and know what the diagnosis is that the doctor is giving you, either for you or for your child. But I'll be talking more about children, though it applies to everybody. The medication applies to everybody, even to newborn babies, since they are natural remedies. It is important to know that eczema is not contagious. Yes, so don't worry that maybe you can pass over your eczema to your child, or your child can pass it over to other children or to you. No, eczema is not contagious. You cannot pass it. The child cannot pass it. Even if another child touches the child, the other child is not going to be infected. It is mostly genetical. And you should understand that eczema can also be temporal, especially with children. It goes away as they grow. As they grow and reach certain age, it may go away completely. So it's important to take note of this. It is also important to note that dermatologists can prescribe creams and drugs. But those creams and drugs, they only help to suppress the bacteria and viruses that causes eczema. But they don't eradicate it completely. Natural remedies, it will always be the best. And most of the time, you have to be very patient. When you are patient, those natural remedies, they normally work. So just try to be patient, and the treatment will depend from one child to another. Another child, it can get rid within 3 months. Another one, it may take 6 months. Another one, it may take 8 months. But the good news is that it is natural. It is natural. You are not taking some of those steroids that are found in the creams that they use for eczemas to treat eczemas. Those steroids, they have a lot of side effects on your body. You don't even want to go there. Symptoms of eczema. You need to know the symptom of eczema. You have itchiness. You have a child and is suffering from eczema. You see the child is scratching. That's the most uncomfortable part of eczema. Then you have dry, cracked skin. The skin is always dry. Then you have rash. Then you have small raised bumps. You can have small raised bumps. Then you have darkening of the skin around the eyes, and also the thickening of the skin. Now let's address this issue. When can eczema get worse? When your child has been diagnosed with eczema, or you have been diagnosed with eczema, when can it get worse? What is it that you do that can make the situation worse? Number one, when it is very cold, your situation can get worse when it's very cold. That's why you need to handle it and treat it as soon as possible so you can get your life back to normal. When it gets very hot, your eczema can get worse also. So try to put the temperature of your room to normal level. So it's important. Your eczema can get worse when you bath often. Yes, I know. You need to take a bath. You need to clean yourself. Yes, but you taking a bath often can make the eczema to get worse for children. Taking a bath often. So with children, I know children can get away with that because they don't have a lot of fluid like us adults that can make your situation worse, and you have body odor and all of that. Children, it's you can easily manage it, and they can take a bath once or twice a week. When you bath your child, you will discover how the child will be itching, scratching the body all over. It means that the eczema is getting worse and is making the child uncomfortable. So try and get a middle ground. Bath the child once or twice a week, and you make sure that you put something like coconut oil in the bath in order to bath the child, so that the child stay moist. And immediately you remove the child from the bath, don't spend more than 10 minutes in bathing that child. When you remove the child from the bath, you now pat the child dry immediately, and you rub what I'm going to be prescribing next. The next thing that can make your eczema get worse is when you consume a lot of sugar and dairy products. A lot of sugar and dairy products, those are the products that cause a lot of allergy. So we read about eczema that can be as a result of allergy. Sometimes removing some of those allergic things from your diet, it just makes the eczema go away by itself. So you may need to try that for 30 days. Get rid of some of these things for 30 days. I mean, now there are so many alternative there are so many alternative food that you can replace with some of these dairy products like milk. Yeah, when you scratch the infected parts of the eczema a lot, it can get worse. The more you scratch, the more it gets worse. I know this is tricky because you feel like, oh, you want to scratch, or your child will be feeling as if he or she wants to scratch the body. Please try to apply some of those things on the body of the child, so that the child should not be scratching the body often. Yes. So another thing that can make eczema to get worse is when you use fragrance or soap. Avoid anything that has to do with smell. Avoid anything that has to do with smell. Please avoid smell. Perfumes and all of that. Soap you avoid. Don't use soap on the child. Don't use soap on the child. Yes. Don't use soap on the child. You can bath the child just like that with normal water. You put a little bit of apple cider vinegar inside the water and you bath the child with. Don't use soap on the child. Don't use soap. It can really irritate the child when you use soap. Now, the treatment for eczema. You will need two items, as we said: castor oil and apple cider vinegar. Castor oil and apple cider vinegar. Those are the two things you will need. I've used many, I can name it. I've used chamomile essential oil. I've used lavender essential oil. I've used tea tree oil. They only help to irritate the child. I've used many things on my daughter, and it did not help. So the one that worked very well for me, it was castor oil and apple cider vinegar. With castor oil, you buy the castor oil and you rub it on the infected parts. Rub it on the infected part. All the infected areas, you rub the castor oil on it. Then the apple cider vinegar, you can take a bottle, put the child's drinking water, and put 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar that the child will be sipping all through the day. Breastfeeding mothers should contact the doctor before taking anything like this, and also not to give it to their newborn babies. 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar that the child can be sipping. It's going to help the child to kill the bacteria from within the body. The bacteria, virus, and fungi. Remember, we said fungi, bacteria, and viruses can cause eczema. Fungi, bacteria, and viruses, they are usually the ones that cause that eczema on your body. So you need to do that. You take the apple cider vinegar. If it is you are an adult, you take 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in the morning, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in the evening. For a child less than 2 years, take 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar a day. mix it in the child's water, and the child will be drinking it all through the day. Please always consult with your doctor before taking any over-the-counter natural remedy for any ailment you're going through. If you are having a child like above 2 years, from 2 years to 10 years, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in the child's drinking water, that should be taken all through the day. You will need to have oil, shea butter. That's an additional tip. You need to rub shea butter all over the child's body. Look for raw shea butter from any shop. Look for raw shea butter. You can look for it online and get raw shea butter. There are so many of them out there. Use the raw shea butter, melt it. You can put it in a dish, put the dish inside a pot with water, and you sit the dish on top of that water. So you do double boiling. Yes, and then it will just melt, so that all the minerals that are in the shea butter, they should remain in the shea butter. When you rub it, it will now also help to heal the child's skin. So that's very, very important to take note of. The last part of this video is to give the child probiotics. Or if you are an adult, you should take probiotics. Probiotics help to build the good bacteria in your system, so it doesn't make your system favorable for bad bacteria or fungi or viruses to grow in it. So probiotics is so important. You can take like 200 grams of yogurt every day. That should be enough to give you probiotics for the day. 200 grams of plain yogurt. Yes. So thank you so much. If you have listened to the message right till this end, thank you so much, and stay tuned, because this channel is all about natural remedies for our everyday health challenges. I will teach you how to use tips and tricks to improve your health. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon as well. Have a blessed day.